Have you ever been in a situation where maybe something you said, some advice you gave, or even just an opinion, it suddenly felt like it carried this huge weight, way more than you expected?
Oh, definitely. You give some counsel, maybe thinking it's small, and it changes things for someone.
Exactly. Or you make a call for someone else and there are ripples you just didn't see coming.
Yeah,
It's a heavy feeling, right? A real responsibility.
it is. It makes you wonder about the true cost, the spiritual and intellectual toll of making those kinds of judgments.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. Judgment itself, but not just, everyday opinions.
Right. We're talking about judgment as a serious decree, something life-altering.
Precisely. And we're drawing from a really profound source, an ancient spiritual text.
Which one are we looking at?
We've got excerpts from The Weight of Judgment in Islam. It digs deep into Chapter 5 of Imam Jafar al-Sadiq's famous book, Lantern of the Path.
Ah, classic. Incredibly respected.
Absolutely. So our mission for you listening is to really unpack the key insights here. What are the spiritual, the intellectual, the moral qualifications needed for this kind of huge responsibility?
And what happens if someone takes it on without them?
That too. What are the implications? It's about understanding what this sacred trust truly involves.
Okay, so let's get into it. How does the source define this type of judgment first?
So, yeah, first things first. It makes it very clear this isn't just, like, sharing your thoughts. The text defines it as making a decree, a definitive ruling.
Okay, so much stronger than just an opinion.
Much stronger. And here's what makes it so incredibly serious. The text insists that such a decree is only valid, only legitimate, if it comes with God's explicit permission and undeniable proof.
Wow. So divine backing is essential. It's not just about human authority.
Exactly. It elevates it beyond any purely human system. It's about divine sanction.
What's fascinating here, then, is how the source lays out the qualifications for someone to even be in that position. It must be incredibly rigorous.
It really is. It's not a job you apply for,
Right.
The text says this sacred trust is reserved for someone blessed by God, someone with profound inner purity, a clean heart, basically.
Free from worldly attachments, that sort of thing.
Yes, and absolute sincerity in everything they do, acting only for God, no hidden agendas.
Okay. Purity, sincerity.
Yeah.
What else?
And crucially, they need clear, undeniable proof from their Lord, a kind of divine mandate.
It makes sense, though. If the stakes are that high, divine permission needed, the person making the decree has to be extraordinary, too.
Totally. And the text uses this really vivid, almost stark analogy to explain the danger of not having these qualifications.
Oh, what's the analogy?
It compares an unqualified judge, someone without that divine okay and preparation, to a surgeon trying to operate without ever having studied medicine.
Oof, that paints a picture.
Doesn't it? And says the danger isn't just to the patient, the person being judged.
It's dangerous for the surgeon, the judge, too.
Exactly. Their ignorance, their presumption, it's perilous for both.
It's a powerful way to frame it. It suggests that the necessary knowledge isn't just facts and figures.
Right. It's described as a light that God places in the heart of whomever he wills.
So an internal illumination, a kind of deep clarity that goes beyond just book learning.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the next point, and this really gives you a pause.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bit of a chill.
Okay.
The source talks about the immense spiritual risk involved, not just for the person judged, but for the judge themselves.
Risk for the judge. How so?
It quotes the Holy Prophet Muhammad directly, using incredibly strong language. He said, "Whoever is boldest among you in judging is also the most insolent to Allah."
Insolent to Allah. Wow. That's heavy.
It really is. It
All right.
implies this audacity, this presumption that's almost like defying God's authority.
So the act of judging itself, if done wrongly or without qualification, is seen as deeply problematic spiritually.
Deeply. And the prophet explains the consequence. A judge in this sacred role stands literally between God and his people.
A conduit, almost.
Yes. And their own fate, their own spiritual destiny. It's described as wavering between the garden and the fire.
Goodness. So heaven or hell hanging in the balance based on their judgments?
That's the implication. It means this isn't a role where you can be uncertain or just, hope for the best.
No room for guesswork.
None. The text really stresses there's no space for hopefully, perhaps, or maybe.
It demands a level of certainty rooted in that divine knowledge we talked about.
A certainty that, frankly, few could genuinely possess. It's a personal spiritual gamble of the absolute highest order.
And if we connect this back, it really highlights the intense personal responsibility involved, doesn't it?
Absolutely. How so?
Well, the teachings emphasize that you have to first benefit from your own knowledge. You need to apply it diligently to your own life.
Before you even think about applying it to others.
Exactly, which raises this really important question about internal integrity. Self-awareness.
Right. It's not just about knowing stuff intellectually.
No, it's about a deep, lived understanding, something that's actually transformed the judge themselves.
You can't guide someone down a path you haven't walked, or at least fully understood and implemented yourself.
Precisely. It's a call for profound self-work before you dare to shape someone else's destiny.
Okay, so the knowledge required is clearly immense. And the source gives a really striking example to illustrate this, doesn't it? Involving Imam Ali.
Ah, yes, the commander of the faithful, a towering figure known for his wisdom.
So imagine this scene. Imam Ali publicly questions a judge, not just to find fault, but to demonstrate the sheer depth of knowledge that's required.
A teaching moment, really.
Exactly. So Imam Ali asked the judge two incredibly sharp questions. First, do you know the difference between those verses of the Quran which abrogate and those which are abrogated?
Okay, that's Naskh, a complex area of Quranic studies about verses that supersede or clarify earlier ones. Needs deep historical and linguistic knowledge.
Right. And the judge's answer?
Let me guess.
A simple, stark no.
Okay. What was the second question?
Imam Ali then asks, do you have a command of the intentions of Allah in the parables of the Quran?
Even deeper. The Quran uses a lot of metaphors, parables. Understanding the intent behind them goes way beyond the literal meaning. It requires real interpretive wisdom.
And the judge's answer again?
No.
No. You can just imagine the silence.
Devastating. And what was Imam Ali's conclusion?
Chillingly direct. He said, then you have perished and caused others to perish.
Wow. Not just unqualified, but actively harmful. Perished and caused others to perish.
Exactly. It wasn't just a critique of his qualifications. It was a declaration of the spiritual and practical danger he posed.
So this exchange, as the source explains it, shows the mastery needed isn't just surface level.
Not at all. It's not memorization. It demands this deep, layered understanding of the Quran.
Knowing the context, the nuances, the different levels of meaning.
Right. And a complete grasp of the prophetic way, the Sunnah, its history.
And on top of that, knowing the whole history of scholarly thought where there's consensus, where there's disagreement.
Exactly. Without that incredibly broad and deep foundation, you risk completely misinterpreting God's will.
And leading people astray, with potentially terrible consequences, both now and in the hereafter.
It's about navigating the really complex, tricky parts of sacred law and wisdom, not just the obvious stuff.
Okay. So the intellectual and spiritual depth required is immense.
Yeah.
But that brings us to a crucial point, right? It can't just be about knowledge.
No, definitely not. We've talked about the knowledge, the spiritual light, the risks.
Yeah.
But what other qualities are essential for this kind of sacred trust? It has to be about who you are, too.
Absolutely. The source is very clear on this. Beyond the vast knowledge, the judge needs a whole set of non-intellectual qualities. It's holistic.
Like what? What does it list?
Well, first, acute discrimination. The ability to really see the difference between truth and falsehood, to cut through confusion.
To get to the heart of the matter, even if it's hidden.
Precisely. It's more than just being smart. It's sharp perception.
Yeah.
Then, sound character. An unshakable moral compass. Someone who isn't swayed by personal feelings or pressure from others or the lure of power. Essential for fairness.
Makes sense. What else?
Deep wisdom.
Yeah.
This allows them to apply all that knowledge effectively and justly in real life, understanding the spirit, not just the letter of the law.
Okay. Discrimination, character, wisdom, anything else?
Yes, one more crucial one. Immense precaution.
Precaution, like being careful.
More than just careful. It's profound humility. A constant awareness of how huge the consequences of their words and actions are. A deep fear of getting it wrong.
A kind of spiritual vigilance.
Exactly. And the text really emphasizes that only when someone embodies all of these, the knowledge, the spirituality, the character, the wisdom, the precaution, only then are they truly fit for this sacred trust.
So if any one piece is missing,
the whole foundation is shaky, you need a complete package.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the core message from Imam Jafar al-Sadiq's Lantern of the Path seems incredibly clear and honestly quite daunting.
It is. This act of judgment, making a decree in this profound sense, It's an extraordinary responsibility.
It demands not just that huge, comprehensive knowledge we talked about,
But also that impeccable character, that deep spiritual purity.
and that profound humility, that immense precaution, recognizing the massive stakes.
It's a station carrying an immense spiritual burden, a call to a level of preparedness, inside and out, that, well, very few could likely achieve.
Which leaves us with a really provocative thought, doesn't it, for everyone listening?
What's that?
Well, if judgment in this sacred context needs such purity, such deep knowledge, such caution, what does this ancient wisdom suggest about how we should act?
In our own lives. You mean like when we give advice?
Yeah, or when we make decisions for others, maybe even family or colleagues, or even just how we form and, blast out our strong opinions these days.
Ah, that's a really interesting connection. Thinking about those moments, maybe firing off a comment online or when a friend asks for serious life advice.
Right. This wisdom kind of reminds us of the weight our words and actions can carry, even in our, let's say, smaller spheres of influence.
It's maybe a quiet call for a bit more thoughtfulness, humility, careful consideration before we speak or act decisively for or about others.
I think so. It's certainly a lot to chew on, isn't it?
Definitely food for thought.
We really hope you'll take these insights with you, reflect on them, and, consider how this deep dive might resonate with your own experiences. Carry this knowledge forward.